the following is my idea of what we should do as a call to action as an organization. NATF should mount an aggressive educational effort to urge all Americans, particularly those in a position to direct and manage patient health, to learn about the risks of biosimilars in relationship to patient safety. NATF should highlight for the American public and Congress the fact that biosimilar biologicals have a very different potential for generating adverse events compared to the chemical compounds and generic drugs. That is, biosimilars are not necessarily generics. The NATF supports the approval of generic chemical compounds, but does not support the rigorous approval of biogenerics. Organizations such as NATF must work to minimize the potential recognized and certainly should be vigilant for currently unrecognized risks of the follow-on biologics by supporting FDA efforts to establish adequate, comprehensive, and stringent approval processes. And this means lobbying on their behalf to make sure that they have adequate resources to do this. NATF should continue to emphasize the scope of the population which will be affected by FDA approval of antithrombotic biosimilars and the implications thereof. So just in our own category of patients here, we're talking about 400,000 individuals in the U.S. with venous thromboembolism diagnoses established on a yearly basis, of whom 100,000 deaths will be associated with this disease. So this is a major health issue here for the use of follow-on biologics. Now, biosimilars which do not meet the standards of the reference pharmaceutical product may introduce considerable morbidity, possible mortality, and could certainly reverse any cost savings in the long run. So I think this is very important for us to continue to emphasize. NATF should continue to remind the American public and Congress of past examples of unpredictable consequences caused by previously FDA-approved follow-on biologics. And we need to constantly emphasize that NATF is not taking its position as a result of commercial interests. Rather, NATF is a group of scientists, clinicians, and patient advocates who are concerned about our constituents. And we're also interested and we're involved with the care and the development of new treatments for venous thromboembolism and complications of thrombotic disorders. So that we are all stakeholders. And we're stakeholders in the healthcare system as well as stakeholders in our societies. And we should be committed to monitor, improve, and influence the clinical care outcomes and the public policy which affects those with thrombotic diseases. So NATF should alert Congress to the needs of the FDA to accomplish their mandate, and we should advocate for the conduct of rigorous and well-conducted and adequately powered clinical trials, which are really the only known mechanism to obtain the safety and efficacy data which the FDA is going to need. And we as Americans, as well as members of NATF, should be in positions to guide, direct, and manage patient care needs, to express their concerns regarding the problems associated with follow-on biologics in public forums, particularly in educational efforts, in political arenas, and in the clinical and regulatory arenas. So I hope that I've been able to give you, over these few minutes, the sum and substance of what the NATF has tried to develop on your behalf and on behalf of the patients who will be receiving these biosimilars, follow-on biologics in the United States. Thank you very much for your attention.